Hello, fellas and ladies. It's time to review Jay Kelly, the newest film from Noah Baumbach. He's probably best known for his more grounded character stories that often don't provide every answer and leave audiences to interpret what, his characters may mean for the viewer. Prominent examples include, Marriage Story or Frances Ha. And in Jay Kelly, we follow a movie star played by George Clooney in a near-meta role, who impulsively hops on a plane with his team to Europe to follow his daughter on vacation, under the guise of accepting a tribute award. Along the way, he reflects on his career and life, wondering if he was there enough for his kids and his loved ones, wondering if it was all worth it. This premiered at Venice to kind of trepidatious reviews, not bad, but pretty good. And it never really picked up off the ground. It just kind of kept on being yeah, it's good, everywhere you went. Although it definitely did have a following of people who really, really liked it. The line that's gone around about the movie that I really think that helps try to specify what the film is doing is probably when Jay Kelly, aka George Clooney's character, says all my memories are movies. The most I can say about this movie is that it's pretty ambitious. I think after White Noise, which I thought was fantastic, Baumbach is kind of picking himself up the ground a little bit, and while White Noise is in a different reality altogether, this movie definitely operates on a very ambitious level. Whether or not it pulls it all off is definitely debatable, but the movie really does a good job of putting us in the head of this fractured guy. He's not the most likable person in the world. He's clearly out of touch. And Noah Baumbach as a director really kind of takes a lot from Federico Fellini as a filmmaker. There's a lot of moments where it's this is straight from 8.5 or something. It's very smooth and sun-soaked and compelling. A lot of the times when we get to these flashbacks by George Clooney's character, we do it in a very cinematic way, which makes sense. This guy only knows art and filmmaking. That was what his life was, and this movie is him reflecting on that, saying, was that all worth it? Did I do a good job? I think the movie is interested in smashing down the misconception that being this mega celebrity kind of fixes everything. This movie has an outstanding ensemble across the board. George Clooney in the main role, some will definitely say he's Clooneying it a little bit, and I think that may be by design. The movie is definitely supposed to meta make us look at George Clooney's character. I don't think the movie's about George Clooney, but using an actor like George Clooney, who's one of the biggest actors ever, I think is very intentional. So him being George Clooney makes a lot of sense, but a lot of what he does is very internal. You never have a moment with him where he's bursting out and being this is what it all is. He has emotional moments, but there's never a scene where Clooney is just letting it all out. A lot of what you see with him is in his eyes. You can look at him and just see him struggling. Adam Sandler is his right-hand man in this movie. He is definitely the second most important character here. And yeah, he continues to show that he is a very strong, dramatic performer. This does not reach the levels of his performances in Punch Drunk Love or Uncut Gems. But I do think this might be his most grounded performance. The most one where I'm he is this soft-spoken, lovable guy who really believes in Jay Kelly, but he's holding a lot of hurt. He is really the heart of the film, and he does an excellent job of showing internal pain. I didn't like the plot line with him and Laura Dern per se, but just the moments when he speaks to Laura Dern, there's something just looking at him, you're man, this guy's about to explode. He has a little bit of a cry scene here and there, and he does it in a way where he's trying so hard not to, because that's what he's learned to do. Perhaps a bit of a hot take, but I think Billy Crudup was the best performance in the movie. He really only has a couple back-to-back scenes and early on in the movie, but he does leave such a strong impression where Clooney and Sandler, he's bottling a lot, but he lets it out, and he does a thing where he's reading a menu, is what I'll say for those who have seen it and want to know what I'm talking about. But they probably knew what I was talking about anyway when I said he does a thing. And I was captivated watching Billy Crudup do it. Nicholas Britell's score is pretty interesting. It's got almost a waltz to it. And I really like the cinematography from Linus Sangren. It's very colorful and exact and really interested in the landscape, but really the the subjects. That all said, I think where this film struggles a little bit is this dissection of the movie star. Not even of the movie star, but of Jay Kelly. Because as much as the movie may come off as very deep, I think the movie really is just sad, which is fine. This movie is a deeply sad film, but there isn't a real catharsis to this movie. It's just kind of watching Clooney's character be deeply sad. And yeah, it's introspective, and that part is really interesting, but there's no real built up, like, I question what exactly his journey was. Like, we see him make selfish decisions and all that, but it's not like I believed at the end of the movie that he was no longer going to make a selfish choice, or that his relationships are healed, with the exception of, like, his relationship with Adam Sandler. The movie seems to suggest that the anchor of Kelly's character is his relationship with Adam Sandler's character, but it never really takes shape till, like, later in the movie, where Clooney really starts to appreciate his relationship with Adam Sandler, like his manager that's like really his best friend. We get a lot about Sandler and his relationship with George Clooney and what that means to him and the sacrifices he's making. As much as he really loves him, he's like doing a lot, and he does question if that love is reciprocated. But we don't get a lot about like Sandler's relationship to Clooney, if that makes sense. What Sandler means to Clooney is a better way to say it. We don't get like really any of that until towards the end, where it's like suddenly he gets an epiphany that I'm not really sure how he got there. Well, they do show us, but it's kind of just like, oh, he figured it out. And that was supposed to be like almost the anchor for him, and I didn't quite get that. The movie also meanders a lot. Very often I felt like no progression really happened. But a lot of this movie is Clooney, something happening, like something interesting. Oh, Clooney's interacting with a bunch of people on a train and be like, hey, I'm a movie star. And then he'll like walk into a memory, watching it like as if it was a movie, which that makes sense for this character. However, again, we're watching him being sad and regretful, and maybe there is a reason to him not, getting the catharsis. But because the movie often kind of just slows down and paces itself, and maybe not even progressing either Clooney or Sandler's stories, we don't really even get a progression for Clooney until really later on. And I would say the first hour is just getting them to Europe. Actually, that's not true, although like there was a moment where I was like, we're on this train for a long time. Like a lot of this movie takes place on a train, which isn't a bad thing, but I just remember being like, wait, what exactly are we accomplishing so far? We now know what his relationship to a director was, to one of his daughters, actually I guess both of his daughters, and then we start learning a little bit more about Sandler. But I just had a point. I'm just like, have we made a progression with Jay Kelly? Baumbach is very much known for not always delivering concrete answers, but I do wonder what exactly Jay Kelly is asking. There's not enough of an erosion between like an out of touch mega celebrity and us common folk for me to actually be like, oh yeah, true, I feel that as well. Because there is something about like reflecting and wondering if everything he did was worth it, but in a way that I didn't know if I can fully connect with. I don't think that is impossible to do. Just because the character's famous doesn't mean we can't connect to them. That's not how it works. I just don't think that erosion was good enough here. There's just simply a struggle to ever cling on to a concrete journey into this movie. There are moments of like deepness that feel like the character's just saying deep things, like Clooney going like, I've been working so hard to get there, and then I gotta keep going. Like, it had to have meant something. Or like Sandler going like, this means something to me. It's just these things of like, okay, I see it. It's, you have something on your mind, you just gotta do a better job of presenting it. I will say the ending really sticks the landing. I really wish the wavelength that we're on with the ending of this emotional like hit was felt the whole movie, not like a big grand catharsis. That can only be in the end. But it helped me connect the dots a lot better. And I will say, sleeping on the film, it helped me a little bit. But I do still stand by that Jay Kelly, while still like really a great movie, I would say, maybe very good, is better. There's definitely some big ideas here, but I don't think it all connects. Jay Kelly really sticks the landing in the end, putting a lot of what Noah Baumbach's intentions were, and I wish the rest of the film was like that. Well, there's a lot to admire here, from the direction to George Clooney and Adam Sandler's internal performances. The movie seemed more interested in insisting on its deepness while carrying a heavy sadness that doesn't hit the mark in the way it wanted to for the most part of this meandering film. And for that, I will give Jay Kelly 7.5 Cloonies out of 10. Like I said earlier, like, this movie is just not that acclaimed. Like, it's got good reviews, but I do stand by that this idea that because it's about actors, like, it'll just brute force its way into Best Picture. And with Netflix, like, all in on Frankenstein, it seems to me that this movie's just not going to get into Best Picture. This movie isn't quite, like, a crowd pleaser. The type of celebrity that this movie is dealing with is not the kind that, like, 90% of the Academy is going to relate to. Its nomination haul is pretty weak. I don't know how we get screenplay if it's not in a picture. That doesn't make sense to me. What is still remaining, in my opinion, pretty clearly is George Clooney and Adam Sandler. like I said before, both of these performances are pretty internal, but they definitely do enough, especially for this new era of the Academy. You got these big movie stars doing these excellent performances. You know, it's pretty easy to see why they would get in. I see some people saying Sandler and not Clooney, and I just don't agree. I think they are very much a package deal. It doesn't make sense for me to say that Sandler is a lone nominee. Sandler is the one who has, like, the cry moments, more so than Clooney, I should say. And yeah, a lot of people want to give Sandler his first nomination, but supporting actor is kind of picking up a little bit, with Elordi really looking strong. For me to believe in Sandler, I have to believe in Clooney as well, which I do believe in. But it's very much a package deal to me. Clooney gets in, Sandler gets in. It's that simple. Like, it's not Clooney not Sandler or Sandler not Clooney. It's Clooney and Sandler or nothing. I can buy it, though. Like, I will not protest predicting this. The actors. I will protest the picture, though. Because I just need to see where this love is coming from. And while it exists, it's not in droves. All right, that's what I got for y'all today. I've now seen this, so I might do an acting video very soon. But that's what I got for you. Let's grab and share. Ciao, ciao.